think he's getting water.
Yeah, he had to get him some aqua. Oh. Oh my. Uh, oh. um, you
Right?
got enough chairs? There's a guy I know. Yep.
Trustee Mahan.
Here.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Tavelli.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem March.
Here.
Trustee Frazia.
Here.
Mayor Kreitz. Trustee Lamont.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem, you have an ample form.
Okay, great. Thank you. Could I get everyone to please stand, remove your hats, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We need approval of the agenda.
Mayor Pro Tem, any items for the agenda that I'm going to suggest changes for the agenda tonight?
Yes.
To go ahead and remove item D from the consent agenda, resolution 24R23, and I would recommend that we bring that back at a later time at a study session as a conversation amongst the board, and then we can move forward after that point.
Okay.
And as part of that, there is also an email that was sent out that you all received in regards to that item that will also include in the packet after we have that discussion with the board in a study session.
Okay. Oops. Sorry, I'm a slow writer. Okay. All right. Okay, we are moving right along here. We are now moving into our public comments. This portion of the agenda is provided to allow the members of the audience. Yes.
Actually, we're going to do
Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. Skip down. Sorry, we have a special presentation. My apologies. For our community grant funding request for the Carbon Valley Half Marathon and 5K for autism. Monica, are you here? Hi, there she is. Hello. My apologies again.
That's all right.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and the Frederick Board of Trustees. My name is Mike Sindelar. I'm the co-founder and course director for the Carbon Valley Half Marathon. We're here tonight to engage in your support again, as you guys have done every year for us. And this is Monica Bickers. She's our president and is going to tell you a little bit about our race.
Yes, please.
Hi everyone. Hope everyone's having a great night. Can't believe this is our 12th year. I don't know if you guys keep track
Wow.
of that, but this race has been involved in our community for 12 years now, with continued support from both Town of Frederick, Town of Firestone. So we want to continue bringing in more people. Half of our event goes through the Town of Frederick around the wonderful Millivick Lake and over by Centennial Park, and so we need your support to make sure we continue having this. And we have raised over $170,000 in the 12 years for autism research. And we just want to continue doing that, but it takes a lot of funding to do. So we are here to ask for support.
Okay, anybody have any questions, comments? Board?
Just a comment. I was able to participate really, really slowly at a jog, and it was a really great event and very well done. So thank you for doing
That's
it.
really exciting. So by being a sponsor of the event, we do give free entries. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, so that's really awesome. I definitely would like to see you back on the course again. Did you do the half?
No, I did those
The
smallest
5K?
distance I could possibly do.
Well, the smallest is a fun run.
Yes.
So you did a mile?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
This year maybe you should try the
Maybe.
5K.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try that.
Oh, way to go.
I mean, I would love seeing all of you there. I mean, we do a really fun vendor expo too. So for people that don't want to really run or jog or walk, like there's fun expos that we get the community involvement in with people that come and set up booths and have some fun music with a DJ. And so it's just a really fun environment for a great cause.
Super. Outstanding. All right, if nobody has anything to say, I need some direction, please.
Mayor Pro Tem March, I move to grant the $2,000 for the community grant funding request for the Carbon Valley Half Marathon and 5K for autism.
Second.
Trustee Meehan,
Yes.
trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Padilla,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem March,
Yes.
trustee Lamont,
Yes.
trustee Tavali.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you all very
Thank you.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you all very
Good
much.
luck. Have fun, enjoy, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry I jumped ahead there. All right, now we will move to the public comment section of our meeting. This portion of the agenda is provided to allow members of the audience to provide comments to the town board. Please sign in and the mayor will call you. In this case, I will, Mayor Pro Tem. If your comments or concerns require an action, the item or items will need to be placed on a later agenda. Please limit the time of your comments to 3 minutes. I have 2 people signed here. The first one is Cheryl and Gil. Welcome, Cheryl. For those of you who don't know, Cheryl is running for Board of Trustees. She's one of our candidates. So, welcome.
She said thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm back. Hi, I'm back. Anyway, Cheryl has something here. We are Gil and Cheryl Garcia. I'm Gil. This is Cheryl. We live at 4805 Kingbird Drive here in Frederick. And Cheryl had a comment. She said, at the last meeting, I was hearing about the plan for our water supply. I heard that school allocations of water were not part of our plan. Has anyone done a study of how much water the schools currently use? And and also, how current is the town's water plan as the population grows? That? He's a hydrologist. So, anyway, so we're both kind of concerned about answers to those 2 questions. If any studies have been done on how much the schools use, not just in the school, but football field, grass, all that stuff.
Understood.
And where does the town stand on current needs and future needs as the town continues to grow? Do we have enough water rights to cover potential future growth and that sort of thing? What's that? Brian? What about Brian? Brian, did you say? That the town has bought? You've bought more water rights? Or did I misunderstand?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Mayor Pro Tem. I'd encourage you, we do have a long-term water master plan that our engineering team, and it's been a collaborative effort that goes out, I think, it's like 30, 20 years.
Oh, there is Kevin.
roughly. So I definitely encourage you, if you want to send an email, happy to sit down with, as a team and go over it with you. That
Oh.
addresses all of the questions in regards to the school and other things as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. And you guys, you what? Good luck? Oh, good luck on the second, I think she's saying. I support all of you, so
Thank you. Okay.
as well.
Cheryl, Gil, I just want to add one thing here for the water plan.
Yeah.
We have an incredible amount of information about our water and what we're doing it now, currently, and in the future.
Okay,
We have as Brian said, we have a pretty darn good water plan available. We always are looking at water, what we're using, what we may use in the future, and what we may be able to purchase to be used by the community in the future. So, if you give Brian a chance, he can supply you with all the information. It's all public record. It's all there, and all you have to do is ask for it, and we'll get you the information you want.
hey, gimme.
And Mayor Pro Tem,
That's
if
an
I
ask.
might,
Yeah.
for the folks that are listening, if you go on our website at frederickco.gov and navigate through government to engineering to water, there has all of the plans for the water supply, short-term water plan resources, long-term water efficiency, a lot of information on there about what we're doing and
Okay.
how we're doing it.
Great, thanks, Jason.
Okay. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Okay. We have Cody Childress. Oh, that's you. I know you. Hey, Cody.
Mayor Pro Tem Marchand Board again. Hey, again, Cody Childers, VP of the Rec Board, still, and going however how long let me go. Quick update. January, we had 16,786 people at the front door who actually checked in. Does not include spectators of all the youth sports. So my building is pretty much overloaded. February, we had 16,802 people actually check in. Dean's admin staff himself are all now fully into the new community center, formerly known as Old Town Firestone Town Hall. It's a Carbon Valley Parks Recreation District Community Center now. Gymnastics has fully converted the entire building of gymnastics to the old senior room is now the preschool gymnastic room, and it is awesome. They won't let me play. I sound too heavy. Anyways, I try. At the main rec center here at 701 5th Street, the old multi-purpose room is now called the Lounge. They got me some video games and some air hockey and a basketball thing, but somebody broke it for me. Other than that, it's been well received by staff and patrons. So if you're ever in there, go give it a go. It's pretty cool. We put some couches in there as well. Senior luncheon, this is one's phenomenal. The senior luncheon reached a new goal in February of this year, 71 lunches at one time.
Whoa.
Phenomenal.
That's
And they keep telling me, the active adults, we're going to break that record. I said, let's have it. Other than that, just a quick update from the rec center.
that's the senior lunches. They're pretty important.
Very.
I mean, you're looking at one of them that take advantage of it, and it's great food and great chance to be able to see and talk with all the gray hairs around here. So
Yeah.
It's awesome. So that's good. 71. Wow, that's
I'm in a bigger room now over there
True.
at the community center now, down in Firestone. So it's a bigger room. The county loves it. We actually have that little, they call it a catering dish room.
Huh.
I'm not sure the terminology, nomenclature, but it allows us to serve more efficiently.
That's
to the
awesome.
Seniors. or active adults. Last time I said a senior, she almost kicked me. She said,
That's all right. You can say it to me. That's all right. Just a comment. I was wondering about the capacity you guys are reaching up here at the rec center, here on the corner. I mean, it seems like every time I drive by it, that parking lot is packed and there's people parked all over the streets. So,
Dean and his staff have become very, very creative on scheduling
yeah,
all the programming, so we can utilize as much space that we currently have because we're capped physically at 701 Fifth. So maybe not a ballot initiative for the rec center, maybe this year. Maybe. If so, that would possibly open up more facilities for our great community. And I mean, the whole tri town.
all right. Well, I'm sure you will keep us posted as what's going on, and
Always.
love to see you come in here and let us know what's going on. We get questions about the rec center
Oh, yeah.
and the rec district. So,
Oh yeah. Well,
All right.
we've updated our website with SEPA through the state,
Oh.
so it's ADA compliant as well. It's actually more intuitively used
Great.
than our previous website. So that was one of my complaints from the board to our website wasn't very intuitive, but it is now.
Good. Outstanding. Well, thank you, Cody. Anybody have any questions or comments for Cody?
Thank you. Thank you, Cody. All right.
Thanks again, buddy.
Thank y'all for your time.
All right. We are moving right along here. That is all the public comments I see. No one else has signed. So if we're finished with public comments, we will move on to our consent agenda.
Right, staff,
Let's see, consent agenda items are,
staff reports.
staff reports. What am I missing these things for? Oh, there. Okay, sorry. Staff reports, yes. Brian.
Mayor Pro Tem, we're gonna look at potentially, I'll send out an email, but we're gonna look at doing a special meeting on April 16th to potentially have the scholarship awards that night, and we'll just focus on that, as we get close to, obviously, the election, but we really wanna have it done by, at the latest, end of April, early May, so it's included as part of the seniors when the school awards those scholarships. So just put that on your calendar. I'll send out an email if there's any, check to see if there's any scheduling conflicts. But with that, that's all that I have in regards to the admin report.
When's that going to be? Brian, I'm sorry.
April 16th, Tuesday.
Okay. Just a personal comment on it. That's one of my most favorite times as a trustee to see this done, and everybody that gets involved with that is awesome. So I'm excited to see this come around, get to meet the people who have been awarded these scholarships. So I'm sure that you guys will all make good choices. So thank you.
Yeah, just as an update, I know the committee's comprised of the mayor, Brian Sapp of Sapp Toyota, and then Sean Corey, who's the principal of Legacy Elementary. We received a total of 24 applicants, and so they're in the process of reviewing them. And then hopefully they'll plan on doing interviews that week, April 12th or April 5th, and then they'll have their selection. So the packet, you'll probably see the packet go out a lot later than normally on that one, but it will just have the scholarship information in there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Does anybody have any comments, questions to Brian?
Just in there, the Frederick Recreation Area 3D renderings and all of that going out end of March. Do you know a date on when that'll be kind of unveiled?
That's a great question, Mayor Pro Tem and Trustee Padilla. We actually have it. PROSPA's already discussed it. It's pretty much ready to go. It's in our parking lot. We're gonna try to get it scheduled, hopefully for a study session in May.
Gotcha.
Fairly long study session, probably be a couple hours, but we'd like to look at doing it as a joint meeting with the post.
I've suggested that the Prost and the Board of Trustees here's the same agenda, so here's the same topic, all at once, and just make it easier for that. but this is be the third iteration of the plan, and I think you'll be very happy with it.
Can't wait to see that. That's going to be awesome. All right.
Do we want to see if any of the attendees here had any comment that didn't get a chance to sign up for public comment?
Oh, yeah, we can do that. We'll back up a little bit. Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Mahan. Is there anyone in the audience here who wanted to make a comment that didn't get a chance to sign up? No one? Okay. Thanks, Brandon. Okay. All right, moving right along. Now we go to the consent agenda. My thing keeps jumping. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion and vote. There will be no separate discussion of consent agenda items unless a board member so requests, in which case the item may be removed from the consent agenda and considered at the end of the consent agenda.
And Mayor Pro Tem, just for clarity, the only consent agenda item remaining would be item C.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve the consent agenda with the removal of item D.
Trustee Javelli,
Yes.
trustee Lamont,
Yes.
trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Padilla,
Yes.
trustee Mahan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem March.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. All right. With that being done, we will move to our action agenda. The first item is Resolution 24R18. Someone? Is it Zach? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Zachary Robertson. I'm the town's stormwater engineer. Thank you for taking the time, board and Mayor Pro Tem, for listening to me and the general public as well that's here tonight. I'm here to present a potential award of contract moving forward with the Colorado Boulevard and Bella Rosa Parkway capital improvements project. The strategic plan alignment. How does this align with the town's strategic plan? This is aligned with our town's stormwater infrastructure. It's imperative that these CIP improvements are installed so that way we can have a robust stormwater drainage system. This will help protect Colorado Boulevard along with Bella Rosa Parkway over by the golf course. Area of interest, what are we talking about? We have three potential improvements that we are going to move forward. This is following our town's master drainage plan, also known as the OSP, Outfall System Plan. The current projects are rank 1, we have rank 2, and rank 7. The big ones that you'll notice will be 2 box culverts, one on Colorado Boulevard and one on Bella Rosa Parkway. The goal of these improvements are during a 100-year flood event, the roads will actually still be dry. So emergency services and the general public could still use these roads during a flooding event. That is our goal moving forward. The purpose of this award of contract, we have partnered with AVI. We've completed our design in last December, and I am glad to announce with this award of contract, we plan to move forward with construction and use our stormwater enterprise to build a more robust system for our drainage infrastructure. A little project update. This one actually went through the formal bid process. I announced it on our town's website. I also did through BidNet. And I was lucky enough to receive 6 bidders, which is really great to have a decent pool of bidders to compare that with. We went with the lowest and most qualified bidder. I did a pretty good job of vetting, so I was pretty happy to come across a really good contractor with that. With the selected bid, we ended up getting Naranjo, they ended up being the lowest and most qualified bid of roughly 2.2 million. I'm fortunate enough today that they are actually in the audience over to the right over there. So if you have any tricky questions that I cannot answer, I might bring them in to help get me through. So glad you're here, Troy. Thanks for joining me tonight. So our action plan, staff's recommendation would be to obviously proceed with award of contract. That would be Frederick would sign the award, and then we'd proceed with Naranjo. Another potential option would be deny of contract, in which case the board has a prerogative to not move forward with this. Keep in mind that this would leave Colorado Boulevard and Bella Rosa still vulnerable to flooding events if we were to have a 100-year flood event. And with that, I have provided some recommended motions for the board if needed, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Board have any other questions or comments for Zach?
Questions for me?
Nothing?
Sorry, the only question I have is the timing with the other intersection improvements. This happens first.
The other intersection improvements, are you talking closer to Bella Rosa Parkway, or are you talking to Highway 52? Because we have a few.
I think Bella Rosa in Colorado.
Bella Rosa in Colorado. So this one will be happening before with that. I'm going to go back to my area map so it's a little clearer. This lower one on Colorado Boulevard right here, we actually plan on doing what's called a shoe fly. So that means cars will always be able to go back and forth with that. So that's the current plan with that. So you should still be able to move back and forth between the municipalities. We're still trying to figure out the quickest way of resolving Bella Rosa Parkway. We're currently vetting our traffic control plan with that. We're looking like there may be a 4-week partial closure with really only 2 weeks of that actually being closed. Of course, once we get a really great game plan, I'll be coordinating that with our communications group, and you'll start seeing those communications fly out. So the goal really is what is the quickest and least impact, along with also the most cost-effective solution. So that's the goal when we're comparing these traffic solutions moving forward.
Could you give me a date, time frame you're looking at?
Yeah, I unfortunately am still fighting some easements component and the relocation of Central Rail's water line with that. I anticipate having a very good Gantt chart here in the next 2 to 3 weeks with a really great schedule. One thing that is, 2 top things that are on our list are avoiding impacts to schools, and then also the many events that we do around in Frederick. So how do we mitigate those impacts? And that's what we're trying to do. I can follow up more in a few weeks with you though. So
Could you do that?
Yes.
And make sure that you give us some.
I can do that. There's no issue sharing anticipated project schedules and things like that. That's more than happy to communicate. So
Let's just send us, I think the best way would be, so that we all get it, would be an email to all the board.
absolutely. And then I'll be, like I already mentioned, I'll be working with Renee and her team to also do public outreach as well, that as well. So, but I can loop you in.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Anyone have any further questions or comments to Zach about this project? No one? In that case, we need direction.
Mayor Pro Tem March, I move that we approve the bid for R-18 resolution regarding the awarding of the contract for Colorado Boulevard and Bella Rosa drainage improvements.
Second.
Oh, you can say as presented.
As presented, okay.
And then I still second.
Trustee Mock,
Yes.
Trustee Padilla,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem March,
Yes.
Trustee DeBelli,
Yes.
Trustee Mahan.
Yes.
Item passes 6-0.
Thank you, Zach.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Moving right along, we are now going to address Resolution 24R19, and that is Jason Berg. Jason, you're up.
All right, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Board of Trustees. Before you tonight for consideration is award of the contract for the 2024 Speed Radar project. This project aligns with our strategic, reliable, and sustainable infrastructure portion of the strategic plan by investing in the town's infrastructure, as well as aiming to enhance pedestrian and multimodal safety through the infrastructure investments that we do install. Details of the request. So following a successful registration within the Frederick Speed Management Program, a resident did initiate a petition, which was also successful. And that petition covered the segments of 6th Street between Frederick Way and Ridgeway Boulevard. So 3 segments of that roadway, Frederick Way to 5th Street to Blue Spruce, and Blue Spruce to Ridgeway. So following the speed study, it was found that the 85th percentile speed from 6th Street between Frederick Way and 5th Street did exceed the 5-mile threshold that we have. So that met the criteria for the implementation of a speed mitigation project. The other 2 segments did not, so they did fail the criteria in that portion. But the segment of roadway is directly adjacent to Carriage Hills Park. So this gives you a general overview of where the speed study was conducted. The west segment was right there at the initiation of Carriage Hills Park, right after the curvature of the road. The second speed study area was between 5th and Blue Spruce, as best as we could place it between the 2 roads without impacting somebody's driveway. And the east segment was between Blue Spruce and Ridgeway, and this was the area of lowest observed speeds. Here you can see the results. The 85th percentile here is highlighted. So the 85th percentile speed between Frederick Way and 5th Street was 30.3 miles an hour, so just over the 5-mile-an-hour threshold. The middle section was 25.9, and the easternmost study area was 25.2.
It was actually
90.
driving 89 miles an hour on there?
Yeah,
Really?
it was very early in the morning, but it could have also been somebody messing with the tubes. It was literally
Well,
just
I
one.
went for a run near there. I might have been.
Yeah.
That's it. That was it. You can go fast. Yeah.
So location evaluation of installation. We evaluated 4 different locations for 5 really for installation of the speed radar. We had 1 location identified on the westernmost portion of the park, and then 4 installation potential locations for the eastern, which would capture westbound traffic. The 2 eastern locations studied were in front of houses, 601 and 6701 and 6707 6th Street, as well as 6707, 6711 6th Street. So these are obviously a little bit more impactful because they're directly in somebody's front yard. The westernmost on 5th Street, just east of that, and then the easternmost location just east of Blue Spruce Street, which was the lowest area of observed speeds. So this kind of gives you an idea of where those locations were. 2 most obvious here at the beginning of the park are also the most impactful to the residents in the area. Having a large sign placed in their front yard, not a desirable option. Option 3 here, which is the town's preferred location, captures speeds out to 600 feet, so it gets you about to Blue Spruce. So it'll capture travelers coming that direction and notify them before they get to the park. And option 4 here is the least impactful, but also presents the least benefit to the community because you really don't capture the people as at the location that you want to notify them that they're speeding in the vicinity of the park. And then here, a little bit harder to see, is the western sign installation. Right there at the apex of the curve as you're exiting, to try to remind people to slow down and not continue to accelerate. So this is the project map of staff's preferred installation locations here at the western portion of the park, and then just east of 5th Street. And then you have an example here of what that installation will look like with the speed limit sign and a speed radar readout that will notify cars of their velocity. And each of those is solar powered. So following bid, Sturgeon Electric was found to be the lowest responsible bidder. We only received one bid, but they're a very good company. The project amount was $41,000. And the award can be issued at the chosen location. The board can direct staff to install at one of the other locations, or we can reject bids and go back out to the bidding process for this project. Staff recommends approval of 24R19 at the recommended location, but I am available for questions.
2 radar control signs, one going each direction,
Yes, sir.
or a length of street that's that long.
Yep.
And you're comfortable with the fact that that is needed on both sides at $20,000 a pop?
Yes, yeah, in the vicinity of the park, I think it would be beneficial to notify people going both directions for enhanced public safety, to capture in both directions.
Okay. Thank you.
Is this the first successful?
It is the first successful.
Implementation of the,
Yes, sir.
good.
Great.
I'm glad to hear that.
Progress. All right. Does anyone have any other comments or questions of Jason? If not, we need some direction on this one.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move to that resolution 24R19 regarding the award of a contract for the 2024 speed radar project be approved, and to direct the town attorney to memorialize this bid as a resolution for prompt execution by the town manager without further board action.
Second.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee DeValdi,
Yes.
trustee Lamont,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem March,
Yes.
trustee Padilla,
Yes.
trustee Mahan.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
All right, moving along to resolution 24R20, and we need Eli up here. Eli, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Board of Trustees.
Eli?
It's my pleasure to present to you guys this evening the Summerfield Development Agreement. This is an agreement for public improvements with a developer in Erie, and this actually came about as a referral from the town of Erie to us. This aligns with our strategic plan, under the strategic, reliable, and sustainable infrastructure component, because it actually helps further the goals of both our storm drainage master plan, known as the Outfall Systems Plan, or OSP, that Zach mentioned earlier, as well as the transportation master plan. In a nutshell, the agreement is for 1,500 feet of paving along County Road 5, north of Highway 52. This is due to the fact that there will be installing sanitary manholes along this portion of County Road 5, and those could potentially become a public maintenance nuisance. So we asked that they would pave that portion in order to prevent Public Works from having any issues with those in the future. The other big component of this agreement is for 4 OSP improvements as of right now, and those public improvement agreements, there's a typo in the AM, I put filing 2, but the agreement actually reads future filings, and it'll be impact-based, so it'll just be as soon as those improvements are needed. But those 4 improvements are on the top left of the screen. You can see ICC8 all the way through ICC12. So those 4 improvements would otherwise have to be capital improvement projects by the town at some point. In addition to that, there is a temporary drainage component of the agreement that requires that flows across Highway 52 be reduced to historic levels of 15 CFS. This will have the effect of reducing flooding across 52 until a final drainage solution can be contemplated, and that will require our input. The good news about this is if no agreement can be had on this particular item, those flows will still be reduced to that 15 CFS under the agreement, which will continue to reduce flooding across Highway 52. As of right now, by the way, Erie is contemplating doing those improvements as CIPs, so there's a potential for 6 OSP projects being done around and as part of this agreement. With that, staff recommends approval of Resolution 24R20. And do you have any questions?
I have one, but it's to Jason. Can we move forward on a vote on this with the typo error or whatever that Eli mentioned?
Right. I mean, if you're okay with the correction, then you can move forward with it just fine.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. That's all I have.
Perfect. Very good. Thank you, guys.
All right. Anyone have any comments or questions for Eli?
I guess same question, which is like timing, road closures, anything like that?
So a lot of these are actually going to be impact based, which means that it's going to be coming about as part of the project. And then there's a couple of components where we were flexible with the timing in order to make it work for the developer and to be a good partner in this agreement. Ultimately, about 3 years is probably what we're looking at for paving of County Road 5. There's a stipulation in there for if they're working on the construction documents for that area and they have to get, say, permitting through another entity, which in this case could potentially be Army Corps of Engineers 404 permit, and that can take a second. So we went ahead and wrote that into the agreement so that if they're making good progress and being faithful and diligent, then we could be flexible.
And so what we're trying to avoid with that flexibility, we're trying to avoid the idea of having them pave a piece and then tear it up to put a sewer line in and then walk away. So rather than having them do that, we're allowing them to make sure that the sewer line is built and put in and pave. It was a good collaborative effort with the development team because we kind of explained our position. If we're having graders out there on the road and there's sewer manholes in there, that'll likely conflict with each other on a regular basis, and that's what we're trying to avoid in the long run. But as you heard earlier, maybe Kent flags them in the interim period as
that is part of the agreement. Yes, they will be identified.
Right, of where you might lift up the blades so we're not destroying our equipment or tearing out manholes.
And in the interim, they'll have concrete collars in case something does happen. It'll protect the infrastructure as well. So.
Right.
Manholes and dirt roads don't work very good together. All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments for Eli before he leaves? No? And direction we need.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that Resolution 24R20 regarding the agreement for public improvements as it relates to the Summerfield development be approved and to direct the town attorney to memorialize this approval as a resolution for prompt execution by Mayor Kreitz without further action of the board.
Trustee DeValdi?
Yes.
Trustee Brown?
Yes.
Trustee Mahan?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem March?
Yes.
Trustee Padilla?
Yes.
Trustee Lamont?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. Moving right along here. Resolution 24R21. It is Sarah and Eli again. Just you? All right.
Good
Thank
morning.
you, Sarah.
Sorry,
Hello.
good morning, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Board of Trustees. Before you tonight is a consideration for water dedication updates to existing MOAPI documents at the staff level. This falls in line with the effective, efficient, and strategic government operations by reducing the number of items that come before the board that don't require special provision considerations. So with the typical MOAPI, we'll bring it forward and there's items in Exhibit F or just approving that original document. But there are some items that are pretty minimal update, or it's in line with our current code, which is this item. It's in line with our current code. So we're suggesting a change in the process to address these quickly and reduce the number of items that come to your docket. So as you know, we revised the water dedication requirements last year. The old requirements was 1 CBT unit per single family equivalent. So that language is in all old MOAPI documents. It has that requirement. So this doesn't align with our new code and where we're promoting water conservation by allowing people to reduce the dedication if they can show that they don't need that additional water. So we are requesting to be able to address those with those old documents, including site plans for commercial and industrial areas with old MOAPIs, as well as any residential ones that pop up that could be an infill lot that doesn't fit within the current code, and they've made some changes to their landscape proposed that'll reduce their water use. So, like I said, with new development moving forward, most new development coming in, we are seeing a reduction in the water that would be required versus the old process. So this will probably impact all site plans moving forward in residential development. So we wanted to have this available to address those small changes. This request would be limited to just the water dedication requirement within the MOAPI. So if there is any other item that needs to be updated in Exhibit F, we would still bring that to the board because that requires special consideration. In line with the code change that we did, all of the analysis will be done by staff. That's an example of our, there we go. That's an example of the tool sheet that we put together that is a summary of the water dedication requirements that we do for any project moving forward. Again, we're requesting to make this an administrative process to follow our new code update. And this could have a significant impact to the docket. We have quite a few site plans that have yet to be developed on in those commercial and industrial areas. And every single one of those would be impacted by this code change and us not being able to allow them to follow the new code and what we're asking for that water conservation compared to what's in the current agreement. Those areas include Meadowlark Business Park, Del Camino Business Park, Bear Industrial Park, Frederick West Business Park, and the potential for impacts to Silverstone Marketplace and any other commercial areas that are impacted by an old MOAPI agreement. Are there any questions on that proposal?
I don't have anything. Guys?
Okay.
Board, nothing? I'll make a comment. Removing 30 to 50 action items off of our agendas, I can't say that that's a bad thing, so I appreciate that. Okay. If no one has anything to ask or make comments to Sarah, we need direction. Thank you, Sarah.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that Resolution 24-R-21 regarding amendment to water dedication requirements be approved.
Second.
Trustee Mahan,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee DeVelli,
Yes.
Trustee Lamont,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem March,
Yes.
Trustee Padilla,
Yes.
motion passes 6-0.
All right. Moving to the next resolution, 24R22. It is Sarah. Again, hello, Sarah.
Hello again. This is another update that staff brainstormed some ideas of making our process more efficient for development coming in, as well as taking some of those items off the docket that, again, don't require special considerations. So it falls within that effective, efficient, and strategic government operations by not taking up time on the docket when there are more pressing matters to discuss at the board level. You might be familiar, Exhibit B of the MOAPI includes the list of public improvements to be constructed, including the estimated cost of those public improvements. So that is a snapshot in time of when that document was approved by the board. Those cost estimates are going to be roughly around that time. So that does age. And as we know, the changes in costs in the industry have been drastically changing. The MOAPI in the language of some MOAPIs allows staff to adjust the cost of improvements based on the construction cost index, which compares the cost of improvements between years. There's an escalation factor that you can add to that. That language isn't in all MOAPI documents. Some of our older ones have different language. So it makes it hard to uniformly update those exhibits administratively. To give you an idea of how much those costs have changed, during COVID times, because of construction and delays with materials, the costs increased over 40%. So that is a big increase. So any cost estimates that we have are likely going to be really out of date and not accurate. And since the town does require an improvement guarantee to cover those costs of those improvements and into the warranty period, it's important for us to have accurate cost estimates. So we would request that any Exhibit Bs that are older than 6 months be updated, because as you can see, that's a significant change in the market. It has petered off the last year or so, but we're expecting those prices to continue to be volatile as development picks up again. Again, this would be a staff administrative process to update that Exhibit B through an amendment as necessary. It would take items off of the agenda. It won't be as high of a number because this will be tied to those large public improvement agreements, which we only have a few of those outstanding that would have old construction costs. Those are including Prosperity, Clearview. Those were approved a while back and they haven't constructed, so those costs of improvements need to be updated. Are there any questions?
Good stuff. I like to be efficient.
We're just gonna ask you what you think of it.
There's no reason we need to go over escalating costs. I think it's pretty straightforward, so.
I agree. Anyone else have anything they want to add or ask Sarah while we're here? No? All right, if not, thank you again, Sarah, very much. We need some action, please, some direction.
I move that resolution 24R, 24R-22 approving administrative amendment to the memoranda of agreement for public improvements, Exhibit B, public improvements to be constructed be approved.
Second.
Trustee Mahan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem March,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Padilla,
Yes.
Trustee Tabelli,
Yes.
Trustee Lamont.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Okay, we are going to move into mayor and trustee reports. We have an executive session here after this, so would I be out of line to ask the audience if there was something they needed to say?
It's up to you. You can certainly ask for additional public comment if there's any.
We have a little bit of time here, and I noticed that there's still some of the public here, and I was wondering if any of you are sure you do not wish to speak to the board about anything that's on your mind.
Resolution D, item D, resolution, pull up the resolution.
Can we have you?
Could you please come up here?
Thank you.
Thank you. Come to the podium.
24-R-23 was resolution D.
Did I hear that correctly, that got passed earlier today?
No,
No, that did not get passed
there has
earlier.
been no action on that resolution as of right now.
So why did that get taken off of today's agenda?
It was not taken off. What we did is we moved it down because we want to do a little bit more research on this, get a little bit more input from the public on this, and have a chance to discuss this, which is the best way that the town of Frederick needs to address this issue. We don't want to make a decision about the proper way or improper way of addressing something that's this important. So we're not shelving it. We're not just kicking the can down the road. We want to have the chance to be able to talk this over and make sure that what we say and how we say it is done the right way, and it's what reflects the people of Frederick.
Okay, and so there'll be a public notice so we know next time again for
Next
that.
time that the board is going to address this resolution and either pass or deny this, the public will be notified.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Okay, all right. Moving along here, we will move into mayor and trustee reports. I don't have anything, but do any of you have anything?
Back to this a little bit, because I was actually surprised that it was a consent agenda item. I'm glad it was not done that way, because I think that would have made it very shady or very underhanded and not let people know. But what is the timeline that we have for discussing that in our work session and then getting it back out? Because I do think the situation is very, very important, and is the longer that we wait on that, the more ramifications it can have in a very negative way if we don't come up with a resolution for that.
Trustee Brown and Mayor Pro Tem, in talking with the mayor, I think as soon as we can get everybody together, so within the next couple of weeks or May at the latest, where everybody is present and can certainly express their thoughts and opinions on it, and we can be ready to move as quickly as the board would like to on that. So.
I'm fine.
Anybody else want to say? Come on, this is.
I don't have anything.
Want to say anything right now? Nothing?
Okay.
You're okay? Okay. Then we move to mayor and trustee reports. Anything?
The executive session, because
Nothing?
I think we're.
Oh, I was making sure here.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Got nothing.
All right, nobody got anything? Then we will move into executive session. How about a 5-minute break, and then we will move into executive session?
We'll need to have a vote on
I'm
it.
sorry, what?
We'll need a vote on the motion.
Oh, okay, all right. Then we need a motion. Do I need to read this before we do that?
It's
I don't do this enough, so.
typically it's clear, but I can read it real quick. We would need a motion for the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations and or instructing negotiators under CRS section 24.6 402.4E1 regarding stormwater drainage. So if somebody would like to make that motion, that would be great.
I'll make that motion that you just said right there.
Thank you.
Second.
I'll second it.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee McGann,
Yes.
Trustee Padilla,
Yes.
Trustee Javaldi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem March,
Yes.
Trustee Lamont,
Yes.
motion passes 6-0.
Mayor Pro Tem, you wanted a 5-minute recess before
Yes,
we
5
proceed?
minutes, please. Give everybody a chance to do what they need to.
That's why.
Oh, let me get up.